Hello again. Thank you for joining the seventh section of our training, information security training for Catholic Graduates Association of Nigeria. And today we'll be looking at basic system administration. And to anchor the training section today, we're privileged to have Chukwunonso Abu, who is a senior devs engineer with Amazon. So, Nonso, you have the floor now.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Obiora. And this is
if you can also put on your video, it will be, that is if it's not much of a big deal.
Okay, sure. Let me see.
So I can turn off my own video.
Yeah, I was thinking it was on. Let me see if I can do that.
Okay.
Okay, screen. Sure. We have it. Oh yeah, sure. I think the video should be up now. Okay. Yeah, you guys can see me.
Yeah, you have to start sharing.
Oh, okay. So, do you see my face or no?
No, we can't see your face now. Just okay. You can start when you click on the video, then you click start sharing.
Okay. Let me go back to Skype again. Okay, start my video.
Click on the start sharing. Okay, good. We can see you now.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Then we can also see the screen.
Yes.
Okay, sure. Okay, so this session is gonna introduce us to sysadmin because as a security information security experts, you guys also don't just need to know everything about only security. You guys need to also appreciate what the other IT staff do, and then also know what they do, because sometimes you may need to log into some servers to check compliance and then to check if the necessary ports are open and stuff like that. So today's session will be more of a hands-on session. We will see what you do on the field. And I must say that for you to be on this class, I know you've come so far. So I would say redouble your effort. This what we're doing today is very key, because you will definitely log into servers, you will definitely see what's going on, and you need to be a doer. So that's the other part of the training, is how to do some stuff. We're not going to go deep into sysadmin, but we at least know the basics, so that if you start a job today, they gave you a server, they gave you a system, and they gave you a key, you should know what to do. Obi has introduced us to encryption keys, ports, and then also a lot of other security stuff. So we're going to see the practical application of some of those things today. So as a way, just like when Obi started, we normally want to say who is teaching you today, so that you can be able to appreciate what you are getting, and then also know that that person is qualified to teach you. So I didn't go into my bachelor's here, but these are the certifications I have, the most recent one being the AWS, which is Amazon Web Services. They are the biggest cloud provider in the world. So I have their security specialty, CS, which I got earlier this year. Then I also have the other certifications, like the professional certification, which is like the highest certification on architecting in the cloud, and then also the associates. Then also the one that plays to what we do today is the Red Hat Certified System Administrator. So it's kind of, when you do administrative certification. Then I have the Lockheed Martin's Montgomery College Certification of Cybersecurity, Secure Coding, and Software Engineering. Okay, then also my bachelor's was on biochemistry. On a work level, I work with a lot of companies, but I just put these few. Capital One Bank, which is in the United States and also in the UK, I work for them as a cloud engineer. Then I've also worked with the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, which is like they regulate the New York Stock Exchange right here. So a lot of coding, a lot of industrial practices. Then I've also worked for the American National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration and also John Deere company. So just why we do this so that you see where you're going. Because again, sometimes some of you are gonna get more certification that we currently have, like than I and Obi have. And then we expect that you guys will come in the industry and also achieve even more than what we have. And then the professional experience, why we put this here is to tell you that as a security expert, you can work in different places. Like if you check this little profile put here, I worked in a company that produces car. Then this other one was weather. Then the other one was regulation. The other one is banking. So you can work different places. They need security people there. So the agenda for this class, we're gonna review what you guys and Obi did last week, as he has made it a method. So I want to follow that method also. Then we're gonna look at what is system administration, which is part of our discussion this week. A lot of you guys brought in a lot of perspective to it, which I thank you and appreciate what you guys did. Then we need to know, why does an information security engineer need system administration knowledge? Because some of you will be like, hey, we're doing infotech, why are we on a sysadmin? Then we look at the IT job projection, because we are all in this thing. We're not here to just learn this and go away. No, we hope that you guys will take this from wherever Obi lives it, and then go into the world, get a job, and then do great things. Some of you might even start a company, So then we look at how to log into a remote system Linux in a Linux system, and then also how to remote into a Windows server. Then we can just do a few Linux commands and then a simple Windows command. So today's session, I want everybody to be open-minded. Don't think it's technical, because it's the lowest we can go. And stop me if you feel we're going so fast. Our intention is not to show up. Our show off is for you to learn, and that's the intention. So this is what review of what you guys did last week. So I know that Obi brought about ports and then some different ports, and also we have also done something on encryption. And as I said, today we're going to look at the practical expression of those. So in the last week session, he talked about ports. I believe I'm correct. He talked about ports and then how we use them in communication. It's part of the networking, the ending part of networking that he taught you guys. So today we'll see how we actually use two of the ports, port 22 to log into a Linux system, and port 3389 to RDP. So some of those words, I believe over time you guys will begin to use them, because in a Linux environment, in an IT environment, they can say, oh, RDP to the system. You don't need to be, hey, what are you talking about? Or hey, SSH to the system. So those have become something that it becomes part of your dictionary. And then he has taught you guys in previous class, which I was in, about key pair encryption. So we're going to see practical usage of that today also. So at this point, I want to just make sure that I'm not too fast, or if you have any question, you guys can ask me. So I'll pause before I move on. Okay, so I'll take the silent to be no, and then I'll move to the next slide. So this is part of the discussion, and I'm not here to bore you guys again with what we already read and discussed, but I'm just going to be explaining from the field experts, perspective, from what you do in the industry on the field. So what is the system administration? Why does an info security tech expert like you guys need those basic sysadmin knowledge? So we basically need it as an information security expert. We need to be able to design, when they are designing systems, normally we'll invite the security guys and say, hey, this is what we're doing. Is it okay? Then you guys should be able to log in to the existing system or look at the code to say, oh yeah, this is okay, or remove this, do that. So we design for security. Ideally, in environments they build, then they bring the security experts to check. But these days, people want to infuse the security system while the system is being designed. So you need to be able to log in. You need to see what's going on, other things. So in during the design, you should be able to design against hackers, terrorist organization, all those stuff. And then also, for you as a policy person that design this policy for security in the different environments, you need to, be able to actually know how these environments work, so that when you're correcting people that have made mistake or expose some power that they shouldn't be, or when they are doing the setting up SSL or something like that, you can advise them better because you know what they are doing. It's not like when you go away, they say this guy doesn't know anything. So that's why we need those knowledge. Again, a lot of us discussed this, so I thank you for your contribution for those that did. So this is very important because people lose focus or people lose interest in training because they don't know where they're going. So as Obi rightly said last week, we started with 30 something people, and right now we have maybe 10, in the neighborhood of 10 and 15. So almost half of the class have dropped off. But that is expected, so that was not surprising to us. So, but for those that stay here, that means you are among the successful guys, you are among the resilient people. So don't give up now. Why are we showing this? So we're showing this as a projection from the Census Bureau, which is kind of a global projection, or you may say Western projection. But this so shows different IT industries and the ones that are projected to grow faster. And if you look at it, you see information security analysts, which is what you guys are doing. And it's very far away from the projection for job growth on security is higher than any other IT field. I don't know if you guys follow the news on Sony, SONY, hacking in the 90s. I think it's 2013 or 14, I can't remember. But that was during when Obama was still the president, and they hacked Sony, production, and they said, okay, people should not go to watch the movie about Kim Jong-un. So, but doing that hack was a big hack because it was like the North Korea was hacking the United States. It was a global phenomenon. So since after that, a lot of job opening for security experts, and we know other big hacking schemes. So just to tell you guys that you are in the right field, and the job will continue to grow. So what you make out of it all depends totally on you. You need to put more effort. I've recommended that you guys should do at least 2 hours of study every day. Obi does that, I do that. Even though we are experts, we wake up at night, we do 2 hours, we do 3 hours, we do 4 hours. Because you need to, it's a dynamic industry. You don't just need to say, oh, I learned this and you just go and sleep. No, you guys have to hit the ground running, because what you are looking at, even though you're in Nigeria, IT doesn't have boundary. As I always say, when I was in Nigeria, I was working. What I just need to do is to put generator because there's no light, of course. But I was working during my holidays, and they were paying me in the US dollar, so I wasn't losing anything. The same thing can happen to you. You can actually get a job even if you're very good in Nigeria. So this, it may be like a diversion, but that is very important because focus is very important. People lose focus because they don't know what they're in. They think it's just another training. But Obi wants to make a lot of us come out of our current situation, become millionaires and billionaires. So that's why he started this, and that's why I appreciate him so much. So let's take it from where he has given us this, every knowledge, the certification. He said, make sure you get it. Don't be discouraged. So let's go to the next slide. So this other slide is kind of gives us a comparison. It's like a diversion, but also it's very important. So if you look at it, some jobs are dying. Why the IT jobs are coming up? You see, like manufacturing, some of them are in the negative, electricity, gas. But think of professional scientists, technical, they are all growing. So the other thing we're going to go into the hands-on session now. So, but before we go there, I want to pause and then let's ask if anybody has questions. So, do we have questions from what we say so far, or any concern? And also, Obi, if you want to give direction, you can also provide here because now we'll be going to log into a server. We're going to use Poddy. We're going to do RDP. This will be hands-on now. From now on, this is kind of the end of the slide for now. But we will move to hands-on. So, do we have any question? Anybody? Any question is okay. No question is irrelevant. Can you guys hear me? You guys can hear me, all right?
Yes, we can. We can.
Oh,
We do hear you.
Yeah,
okay.
sure. We can hear you.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. So I will go into the hands-on session. I will take the silent to mean that there's no question for now. So we switch to hands-on.
No.
I said I can't see the slide. I can't see the
Hello.
slide.
Oh, you didn't see any of the slide, or you didn't see any at all?
Yes, I saw it. I was saying it initially when you are introducing,
But the
but
slides,
that is
are
the
still
topic.
showing from my side, so I can see the slides from my
But
side.
I can't see it. I can't see it.
Maybe
So
I'm trying to.
check your
yeah,
own.
exactly.
Yeah, check your own
Uh,
system or something like that. Maybe you can restart us thereabout
Yes,
because we
yes,
can.
go out and come in. Yes.
okay. No problem. I will do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
you need to do that because now we're going to hands-on session. We're going to share the entire screen. Okay. So
Hello. Hello.
yes.
Can you say something about the reflection? You know, we want to know more, a
Yeah,
little about.
that's what we're going to do in the hands-on session about what we did, right?
Okay.
So, but okay, okay, about the sysadmin and the is it the job of the
Why
sysadmin?
they walk? Why they walk miles away, or they're able to
Oh,
walk?
yeah. Okay, thank you, Toto. So, how is it possible that someone could, log into servers far away and then they're able to do some work? So it all boils down to what we have taught in this class. For you to be able to log into a server that can be anywhere in the world, like the server I gave as a on the sample for us to do. Some did not do it. The server is based here in the United States, but a lot of people were able to log in from Nigeria, from UK, from different places, and they kind of participate in what we say we should do this week. So how is it possible? How is it possible that a server in India, I can log into it from here? So the possibility is basically what we have taught us about having a key, an encryption key. So for you to be able to have access to that server, you need an encryption key, which will be like a key pair. A key pair because one of the keys will be on the server, which is the private key, the public key, and then you have the private key. So with that private key, you can actually log into the server. Then the question is, how do I do that? So for you to be able to do that, you need you need to know what user are you going to log in as. So in ideal world, you actually log in as yourself. You log in as yourself, and then they create a user for you. So when you're logging in, they will recognize, yes, this person is the user. But if you try to log in as somebody that is not existing, you will not be able to log in. Then that's number one. Then number two is that you need to know the IP address of the server you're logging into. So because if you don't know the IP address, there is no way you could log into the thing here. So those are the two criteria you need. It's actually simple, but we need to just be open-minded to understand it. So you need the IP address, you need to know the username you're logging in as, and then you need the key pair, the key encryption for servers that has key. Some servers don't have key, so they will ask you to be on a VPN, virtual private network. So before you can log into that server, they have another boundary. So like you cannot log in from the internet. First of all, you log in into what they call VPN. VPN is like, just like let's say, it's just like in a big, how do I explain it? Let's say even in Nigeria, right? for you to, let's say there's a bank in the middle of Ogbete market, for you to be able to come through the gate, maybe you show an ID that you're working in the bank, right? You come in. Then you also pass through the security check. And then when you are within the boundary of the bank, then you can now begin to enter the rooms, because first of all, you have the credentials to come in. So that's why they call something VPN. So some people can use that to log in. Then when you're within the VPN, you can log in as yourself. So do you understand it, at least from the explanation, before we kind of demonstrate it? Does anybody have confusion about?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So thank you for bringing that question. So let's do this now. We asked people to download Putty. I don't know how many people did that. Some did not. Some actually contacted me privately, and then we walked through it. But some did not. But that's okay. So we just demonstrate what that is like. So let me open up a Putty section. Again, Putty comes with some Windows servers, but some it doesn't come. So I'll just do here. You just touch the tab key, and I'll type Putty because I already downloaded that. It's Putty, right? So it comes up this way. So in here you have host name. And again, remember Obi talked a lot about port. So do we see the screen? Can we see the screen?
Yes. I
So
do
what
see it.
port? What port is selected? Can somebody tell me?
22.
Good. So this is a port. That's the same thing Obi has been talking about, port 22. So we're going to remember that at some point we talked about Telnet. This is Telnet, right? If you want to log in as Telnet. But Telnet is not as secure as SSH. So today we're using SSH. So some of those things he says is practical. It's not just talking. So now we're going to get the IP. Remember he talked about IP address, MAC address. So we're going to go online, get that IP address, and then we'll come and put it here. I want it to be as practical as it could be. So let's go online where that server is hosted. The server is hosted in Amazon Web Services. Amazon Web Services is a cloud provider. When we say cloud, what does it mean? It means that the server can be anywhere in the world, but you can log in just once you have internet. So right now, nothing is here. Then we're going to go pick up the IP address. So, and then watch what we're doing. So I will just go here, put aws.amazon.com, and then we'll bring it up. I already logged in, so it might just log us in. So I just do sign into console. So this is the Amazon Web Services Management console. This is a cloud provider, So then we go to EC2. EC2. EC2 means Elastic Compute Cloud. We're not teaching it today. We're just passing by. So you can pick it and hold it. Remember that this is being recorded, so you can also review it. So we click on EC2. And then it says that running instances, we have 6 of them. That means servers that are running. Again, if you look here, you see North Virginia. So this server is running in the United States, Virginia. So, but we could have it any other place. We could have it in Hong Kong, Mumbai, Seoul, Singapore, Sydney, Tokyo. And as I said in one of the classes, I said that recently Amazon, they created a South Africa. You see South Africa on the left, you see South Africa, Sao Paulo. Sorry, this is South America. Sorry, South Africa is somewhere. Africa, Cape Town, sorry. You see Africa, you see Cape Town. That's the only thing in Africa, but you see in the United States, they have a lot, and the other place, Asia Pacific, Europe, Middle East, and then South America. So, but this server today is on the US Eastern region, the Northern Virginia. So yeah, let's just click on the instances, see the ones that are running. So these are the instances. Again, what we're doing today, but we just want to get the IP address. That's why we're here. So if you look here, you see there's something that says Linux Sandbox. So we just click on it. Then you will see the IP address. If you look here, you see public DNS, public IP address. Did you see that public IP address, this one? And there's also what they call private, but we're using the public because we're logging in from the public. So we do this, copy the IP address. This is the same IP address I shared on the screen on last week. because the server has been up since then. So I will paste it here, Control V. So we have it pasted. Then I sent a key to you guys, the encryption key. It came like a PPK, portable key, PPK. So I sent that key. If you guys remember, for those that looked at it on the reflection we did. So and I said, this is how you log in. Watch what we're doing is hands-on, it's practical. So log into Poly, put the IP address, we're on port 22. Then you go to connection, do SSH. You see SSH here? You click on it one time. When you click on it, you see what says AUTH, auth. You select it, one click. Then when you click on it, you see that the right side changes. You see browse. You click on browse. What are we looking for? Can somebody tell me what we're trying to get? At least for those that took time to look at it. What are we trying to get now?
Probably the other key.
Yes, we're trying to get the key pair, the encryption key. So we do browse. Then you should remember that for those that looked at it, you see we send this key, sysadmin security. So I just call it that name. You can call it any name you want. So I'll click on that key. This is going to give us the permission to log into this server wherever we are. And what I'm doing now, I think maybe, I don't know, I'll check the time. If we have time, we could even pause and say, let everybody do it, because this is hands-on. It's not like, okay, just watch me do it. Okay, this is 10:36, 10:30, so we still have 30 minutes. So we could do that and see who can log in, because when we are logged in here, we can actually see who has already logged in. We can see that. So we click here, and then we'll do open. So now that key has been, that encryption key that we're talking, we now have possession of it. So we go back to session right here. So right now, if you want to save this session, so the next time you don't have to do all this all over again, you can just type here and save it as anything you want to save it, security, save. Then now you want to do open. So remember, I said you need like 4 things to log into the remote server. I said you need the key pair, you need the IP address, you need to know the port number, you also need to know the user you're logging in as. So now, watch what's going to happen. The computer is going to ask us a question. So I just say open. So it's asking us, log in as who? Who are you? This is where the security is playing out. Who are you? So if you put a wrong name, let's just put a wrong name. Let me just put a wrong name and say, I am Okoko Otaboyin. Let's see what happens. What did he say? Disconnected, not started authentication method available. Server sent public key, GSAP, PX. So it doesn't know me. Do you guys get it now? That's the encryption key at work. So I'll just say, okay. So let me go and log in as who I'm supposed to log in as. I'll just do new session. Let me start all over again. But because I saved that session, I'll just call that session again. I think I call it security class. I just do load. Then I'll try to log in again. Open. So now it's asking me, who are you again? In that our submission, I said we should log in as EC2-user. EC2-user. Enter. Wow, voila. It says what? Authenticating with public key, imported key, SSH key. Last login, it told me the last time I logged in, Sunday, July 26th. It says EC2 is welcoming us, right? Then it says HTTPS, Amazon Linux. Then it says 17 packages needed for security out of 34 available. Asking us to do the run YUM updates to apply all these updates. So this is also part of what you do in the field. As a security expert, you ensure that people run the latest version of software, because the more the version, I will increase this font size. I know some of you will not be seeing it now, so let me increase it. Watch what I'm doing. I'm not going to teach this, but just watch what I'm doing to increase the font size. I right click on the tab. I'll go to setting. I'll go to change setting. Then it says appearance. So you say the font size is 10, so I'm going to increase it to 14 so people can see. I make it bold and I say 14. I say okay. So normally in the industry, people like to use black screen and white writing, but for the class sake, I'm going to make it white screen so that people can see better. So I'll go to colors. I'll say use system color. Then I'll do apply. So now I believe you guys can see better, right? Okay, so that's the login page. But right here and here is telling us, let me pause and ask, was there, did anybody try to log in and had challenge logging into the remote server? Did anybody try and what challenge that you could not solve? That's number one question. Number two, if you're able to log in, can you just off your mic and say, yes, I was able to log in?
Yes, with plenty help.
Yeah, I had challenges, but I was able to log in at the end.
Good. What's your name? Who said that one? Can you say your name when you say that?
It's Chukwumobi Ezinwanne.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Engineer Chizzy. Any other person? I want everybody to say, like, one feedback.
Actually, mine was my system challenge. I was not able to connect my system with the router I bought, and even my phone hotspots was unable to connect. So ultimately, mine was a different scenario altogether.
Okay, relevance. Okay, so well, just capture what we're doing today. You can actually watch this video and do it yourself. That's why it is being recorded. Okay, another person.
Yes, I tried logging in and I had issues. So by watching a video, but at the end of the day, I still not the problem. Okay. I called some that actually, told me what to do, but at the end of the day, I was not able to log in. Okay. So the problem was that the system was requesting that I log in. So the info was putting in was not solving the problem.
Okay, that's good. That's good feedback. Okay. Any other person?
I logged in, but with so many assistants that I'm still a learner. Where I was registered our present, but it's a different thing from what we are doing today that I did from my own end, to be honest.
Okay, so now for those that have challenges, at least were you able to download the for those that have challenges, were you able to at least download the party and then so what we want to do, because this is a hands-on, we don't just want to pass by and hope that you get it. So we'll walk through, because this is very important, and that's actually what we're doing today. We'll walk through a little bit. Let me see how much time we have. We have like 20 minutes more. So let's walk through those that were not able to log in. Can you guys, because if you want, we can just, let's go back and see, can you do it now? Do you have your computer on, or is it something you must wait later? Can we do it now and see make sure you're able to do this. Was it Malaki that spoke the last time and said that he has some issues?
Yes, it's Malachi. Right now, I just plugged this thing in my laptop, my phone in my laptop to support it. But from the explanation so far, the steps, understanding what you're doing, such that this program, I can be able to do it, because I've actually reached the part that was posing problem to me.
Okay.
By so doing, I'll be.
Okay. I will get what you said. That means you'll be good to look at it and do it by yourself. Good. That's a good thing, because even our Igbo. Okay, thank you, my brother. So even our Igbo people say that if you are what do you call it? If you are only going out also, a blacksmith, and you don't know how to make ogene. Ogene is a traditional music instrument. That you should look at a kite, because the kite's tail is shaped like an ogene. So you can actually look at it and then make an ogene. So while looking at this, I'm sure that you guys will be able to do this. So let's do RDP, because this is just learning side. We want to know so that you guys be able to log into Windows also. And I said that we should be able to run a few commands, because you don't just log in and you don't know what to do. Midweek, I added something else to the homework or to the reflection. I know some people may have missed this, so let's capture that now. I said, while logged in, why don't create a user? So before I go show how to do it, let's check those that are able to create users. So I can check that by going to CD, to home. So this is home. Home is like a house where you have everybody, right? So if you did the homework, you cannot say, it's not like Nigeria, say, oh, I did it. No, we have to check it. If you did it, it will be there. So what's going on? So I'll just do here ls minus ltra to see the people that created their stuff. So right now I can see this person, Uju, see Tobechi, I see Eli, I see everyone. The EC2 user has been there in this class. So not a lot of people did that. I'm sure some people missed that, but that's why we want to repeat that in this class. So because it wasn't part of the initial thing I said you guys should do. So if you want to create a user in the Linux environment, it's just an English word. You type user add, user add. Let's say, let's just say, what name do we want to do? Let's say it's Malaki that's doing it. Malaki, you can just do Malaki. But again, before I do that, I just logged in as a user. But before you can do that, you should become a super user. Somebody, in one time we talked about super user too. So super user is like somebody that has more power within the system. It's called root. So there's no other way to explain it. It's just by saying it this way. You get it and you write it down. Next time you say root. Somebody will say, hey, where did this guy learn this thing? So we want this EC2 user to become root. So we use the command sudo su. Sudo is like sudo su. So it's just simply telling the system, sudo, that's a become su, super user. Become super user, su, sudo su. And then for Linux environment, you normally put space. When you write one thing, you put space before you write another one. So sudo su, watch what will happen when we do that. We do enter. If you check here, this was EC2 user. But now the EC2 user automatically becomes a root user, right? Root user is the one that has power to do a lot of things in the server. So now we want to add a new user. So we're going to do user add. It's an English word. But instead of add user, is user add. Then we'll go space and we'll do Malaki. Let's see, we want to add to Malachi. So user add Malaki. Just let me see, it's done. So if we go to the home directory again, even though we're there, we'll just go to home directory again and then we'll do ls. It's kind of ls means list. List shows who is here. You understand? So we do shows who is here. LTRA shows according to how they came in. So we do enter. So if you guys look here, you see Malaki. And it says the day we were created it is July 26th, and the time we created it too. And the owner of the directory is also belongs to a group called Malaki. Another way to check if it's there is to just do ID, just like people who are saying identify yourself, in security. So if we do ID Malaki, shows us that the user ID of Mr. Malaki is 109, 1009. His group ID is 1009. The group is also Malaki. So in system management, in security, sometimes you create groups for people so that some people are able to log into some servers and some people are not able to log in. So that's where the groups come in, and the groups have their ID. So you as a security person may have to create some groups of people that are admins, groups of people that are just users, group of people that are testers. So these are things that you do as a security person. So not everybody will have unlimited access to the server. So that's where we are now. Then the other simple command I want you guys to learn is uptime. Uptime. So uptime is kind of asking how long has this system been up? Just do uptime, enter. So it says that the system has been up for 15 days and then 11 hours for 11 hours 47 seconds. Something. Then he said how many users are logged in? It says 2. The load average is. Then the other command I want you guys to know is who. As a security expert, want to know who is logged into a server at some point. It's like WHO, like World Health Organization. Who. When you do who, you do enter. And it's telling me that 2 people are logged in. One person is logged in with this IP address. I don't know who that is. And then this is me also logged in here. So let's say that people are logged in. Actually, if the server is set up, we can actually see the name of the person that is logged in. But because we are all logging in as EC2 users, so it's showing that. So recap. Who tells us who is logged in. Uptime tells us how long the server is. What if you want to know the name of the server? You just logged in, you want to know the name of the server. You can do uname. It's kind of asking the server what is your name, right? Uname. And if you want to see all its name, because if you do just uname and do enter, it will just give you a short name. So if you do, it says, oh, I'm a Linux server. But if you want to see every more details, say uname minus L. Tell me everything about yourself. It says, I'm a Linux server. My name is sandbox.com. And it tells you that I'm an Amazon Linux server. And then I was started on May 27th or something like that, So it gives you more information about itself. Remember, it's uname minus A. So because we want to touch Windows, I will pause again, ask questions. This command that we just did is like 3 or 4 commands. Number 1 is uname. From the last one, uname, ask the computer, what name are you? Who is logged into the server? The system you want to know. Then uptime. Now, how far have you been, running? The computer will tell you. Then ID Malaki, just kind of showing an ID of what has happened. And then also, we also say user add to add a user. But I will leave you, before we leave in this, I'll leave this command with you. History. Every human being has a history. Every country has a history. The same way, servers have history. So this history will tell us all the commands that we are running the system. That is within the same section or within the same user. So if I do history, enter. So it's now telling me the last things that have been written here. It says history. You see, you remember that we did a uname minus A. That's the last command. Before that, we did uname, and we typed who, and we did uptime, and we did ID Malaki, and we did ls minus L TRA. So you see, even when we added Malaki. So this gives us the history of the last commands that are run in the server. There's a bunch of them. So that's what I will leave you guys with on just Linux commands, Linux simple commands. Let me wait and see if you have any questions. But we need to also do an RDP session to Windows.
Yeah, thank you for the commands list. There is another important command that maybe is important to mention.
Yes.
The help.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. In case if they don't remember any of the commands,
Yes. Yes.
you can use the help to
Exactly.
actually get to
Yes.
know which
Yes.
because it's you're not expected to know all the commands. There are
That's correct.
the help
That's
would be
correct.
able to help you to easily remember or have access to the different commands depending on what exactly you want to do.
That's absolutely correct. And take this from me, and thank you, Prof. Obi. So you need to know how to get help for all the commands. So in Linux environment, we call it man, M-A-N. It's man page. So if you do man, and then you do like what we did, the last command with the uname. So if you do man uname, it tells you everything about uname. It says man name, uname. You say you can do uname, print system information, synopsis, how to use it. When I remember I did uname minus a, it says if you do uname minus a, print all information in the following order, except omitted by unknown. Then if you do uname minus s, it's gonna print the kernel name. If you do uname minus n, you gotta put the node name, which is the network and the network node name host name. So every command you have, it will give you the details of that command. Remember the command I used to get to this help is man. In Windows, we can actually do help. We just do either help or press F1. But on Linux, we call it command page. But let me just try. Let me try in case I don't know there's something called help. Let me just type help and see what it will say. It might say, I don't know this command, but let's check help. Okay, so it says it's just kind of saying something that it's a help. Okay, just gives us it says type help to see the lists. This share command are defined internally, so it uses a different name. Say type help name to find the name more about function name. Okay, yeah, that's correct. So let's do clear. So let's do the same thing. So it seems to work like man. So if we do help uname, let's see what happens. Okay, no help topic match uname. Okay, that's fine. So remember, it's even asking us to do man, right? Remember that we can use this command called man, M-A-N, man, then you type the name of the command. So in Windows, we'll see where we can use help, easily as word help. But in Bash, it
When you,
says, no
okay,
help.
enter the help command. Just type help.
Yes.
Good. Just enter.
Yeah, that's all. It gives all those stuff,
Yeah,
right?
these are what you have here are different commands in the Linux
Yeah,
environment. All those are different commands. That's why depending on what you have in mind, when you type
yeah.
this help, you could see the different commands that you could actually like now. Look at the time now, or the tests,
Mm-hmm.
or the shifts, or
Yeah,
the return. These are different commands you could actually execute in
yep,
in Linux too. So it's also
yep.
another way
You're
to
right.
see different commands you have available in
Yeah,
the. It's also similar with what we have in Windows because,
Windows.
yeah.
That's correct because you see the
If you
history you
also
just
look at
typed.
because within the help you can also say you can see where they're telling you you could use man to find more information about about commands that are not in this list. Can you see?
That's correct.
Yeah, yes.
Yes, yes, it's
So.
on the first line. Yeah. You're right. And it also says even history, and then if command. So there's a lot of things that are here. UMask. So these are actually Linux commands here. Use sets until some of them will actually use it in scripting. FG if you want to find a job that is hidden. Yeah, you're right. So help command is also something you will get help. I guess we could use it with something like a or something. Okay, yeah. So, but it just shows the list of the command. But if you want to see more details, use man, M-A-N. Thank you, Obi, for that.
It's
So
okay.
that's about the Linux. Yeah, that's about the Linux because this is just scratching the surface. We're just scratching the surface. Yeah, if you want to learn more about Linux, you could just read it up. Probably, I will just send some simple Linux command. Yes, I'll send it in the chat so that you when you log in, you just do hands-on test on this. The server I gave you guys, I will still leave it on running for some weeks. So you can just go there, practice this thing we did today. Because the only way you can learn is actually by practicing. Okay, so let's do the Windows. I don't want to take the whole time, so let's do Windows RDP session. That one is going to be actually straightforward. So the same way, we just go to this AWS environment. Let's get the Windows server I want to log into. So there's a Windows server I started this morning. So let's check the time it started, and then I guess I called it security or something. So lunchtime. So if I go back to lunchtime again, then you see that this one started today, 26th. So that's gonna be this the Windows that doesn't have a name, but we can actually give it a name. So this is server. We're going to do RDP. Please keep your mind open. This is the RDP we talked about in the script. We're gonna do it now. So again, we start with the IP address just like before, but this is a little bit different. Remember, we have the key. So Windows Server, there's two ways of logging into it. So let's check this. So when you select this, you go here, and then you say there's something that says get Windows password. You see that get Windows password? That's something else that would do. Like if you click here, so instead of, because Windows you log in with username and password, right? So right here is asking us that we should paste that key that I sent to you guys. He said paste the key. When we paste the key here, then it's going to give us a password. Then we have to decrypt it. You know, we talked about encryption, right? So this is decrypting, is the opposite of encrypting. So when we paste that key, it's going to decrypt it for us and give us a value. That value is what we're going to use to log in. So let's go back to the key. You know, somewhere. So let's use here to keys. I think it's here. Okay, yeah, it's here. So so I just use open one of these. I think this should work, but if it doesn't work, I'll use the other second one. Okay, so just do edit to open it. So you know, again, okay, no, this is not the right one. Again, these keys that we have here is simply, they are simply, you know, something we can use to log in. It's an encryption, so that's why when I open it, it just look like a gibberish something. So let me see the one I shared with the second one I shared. Okay, I think yeah, this security system, this one, yeah. So let me open it. Just do edit. So you guys see the key, right? It says and RSA key. And if you guys remember, I know I had Obi talk about RSA key. So this is RSA private key. It says it here. And you guys see, nobody can make sense out of this. This is an encrypted key. So, but what I'm going to do, we want to decrypt it because it's confusion. Nobody knows what it is. We want to decrypt it and then we use it to log in. So now we do Control A to select it. We do Control C to copy. Then I go to the where it's asking us to, you know, paste it and then we decrypt. So now we pasted it here. Let's do decrypt. If it's the right key, we decrypt. If we paste the wrong thing, to not. Let's actually paste the wrong thing and see what it's going to tell us. So I remove some things there and I say decrypt. Let's see what it's going to say. So, sorry, so let me see. Okay. So select. Do you say what it says? Is password change recommended. Okay, it's actually so I did not change something significant, but if I have changed that, okay, I want to show that I did not remove something significant. So let me do again, login, get Windows passwords, right? So if we do Control V, let me remove the end part of this key. I see the decrypt. You see what it's telling us? Private key must begin with this and end with that. So it doesn't recognize that key. You understand? So let's do again and then just put the right key. The right key that will now decrypt. So now it's decrypted the key and it's telling us that the username is administrator and the password is this. Did we get this from here? This is decryption. We thought about encryption. If you encrypt it, you send it to the other person at the other end. the same key that I send in now, I'm going to leave this Windows server up just for maybe just for 1 week. So if anybody wants to practice, use the same IP address of the Windows server and just do the same thing we're doing here after watching the video. So we did what we decrypted it. This might be a little bit difficult for you guys, but let's just take the knowledge. Then after we decrypted, it gives us what administrator and it gives us a password. This we can now use to log in. So remember we talked about RDP as an admin. You have RDP. RDP is just remote desktop connection. It's another way just to connect to a server, Windows server that is connected that is anywhere in the world, even if it's in the outer space, and there's a route between traffic between here and the outer space, you can connect to it. So we just do RDP, we click here. Some people that like Kosi told me that he's not able to get to this remote desktop connection. I think it's not available for home edition Windows, but it's available for if you're using like the regular Windows server. So the same thing is asking us for the computer IP address. So let's get the IP address. I just duplicate that session, and then I want to get the IP address. And this is the computer. So I'll just collect the IP address right here and collect it. And another thing I want to say is that for RDP uses a different port, 3396. So it's not 22, it's using a different port altogether. So if you want to see that port, let's not go into that. So then this is, you put the IP address, then you do connect. This is our RDP session, how you connect to a remote Windows server. Now it's asking us username and password. My people, if you remember that right here, when we decrypted the password, it gives us the username and password. We use that encryption key to decrypt, and to get this username and password. So that means within that key, you have username and then you have password, but it's all encrypted. So since we now decrypted, so let's go back to that RDP section right here. So I'll just paste the username, which is administrator. Then we'll go and get the password. Where is that window again? Okay. So right here, it says this is the password, so let's select it. Okay. So we'll paste the password here completely. Then we'll do, you can do remember me if you want, or you can do okay. So now it's asking us that the identity of the remote computer cannot be verified. Do you want to connect anyway? So it's asking us a question. It gives us the license. The remote computer cannot be authenticated due to problem with security. So just asking us some things. The following errors we encountered while validating this. But it's asking us, do you really want to connect? We just say yes, we want to connect. So watch what's happening here. We are connected to a remote server, remote Windows server that is millions of miles away from us, and we're using RDP session. We're using RDP session. So voila, we are now on Windows server. So with this, if you have the encryption key, it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter the kind of server you are. You could be using a supercomputer that is somewhere and doing things and bringing out outputs just by having the encryption key. You know the port number, you know the username, and you know the password. That is what the security guys do. That is your job. That is what we are trying to get to. So right now, we've RDP successfully into the server. It's a little bit complex, but practice will make you perfect. So when we are into the server, if you want to see the command line, just like we have on Linux, you can just click here and you do CMD. CMD means you type it, it's just like command line, CMD. It's just being command line prompt. Just click on it. So without boring you guys a lot, I will introduce one thing that will save us. I'm not expecting, just as what you say, I'm not expecting you to remember everything, but I also want to introduce you to Mr. Gogle. What does that mean? And somebody tell me what I just said. Let me make sure you guys are following. Mr. Google.
Mr. Gogle.
That's
You're talking about Google.
Google.
There you go, Mr. Google. Google is the greatest thing that happened in human race. It means you know everything you want to know. You're only limited by yourself. I'm not expecting you to know everything, but I want to introduce you to Mr. Google. In the course of this and in the course of learning, in the course of practicing, Google will be your best friend. And I want to teach you people one interview question. I want to give you the secret to that question and the answer to it, and how I also handled it when I was interviewed. At one point, I was interviewed for a job, and the guy came asked me this question. I was going for a senior sysadmin position. He asked me, "You come in the morning and your screen is blank, is blue. I had an error that you've never seen before. I don't know what to do. What will you do as a senior sysadmin?" I scratched my head. And I told him, I said, if I see an error I've not seen before, I don't know what to do. I will log into another system, Google that error, and it will tell me what to do. It sounds stupid, right? But he said, yes, that's the correct answer. And that is the correct answer. So now you are logged into this Windows server. I have taught you what Google is and how it will help you along the way. And I know you know what Google, I'm not teaching you what Google is, but how it will help you along the way. I will do one practical demonstration of Google, we're logged in here, and let's say we don't know what to do, right? So I know that if we do dir, it will give us the directories we have, in the Windows, and then we could do a lot of other things here, but let's say we want to see the users on Windows. It's a command I know before, but I forgot it now. We're talking. So what do? Will I tell you guys here I don't know it? No, I will not say that. I will say let's go to Google. I will say we'll come to Google here, and I say, Mr. Google, how do we? Let's just go Google, right? I say, Mr. Google, how do you see users on Windows Server? Google will tell us, okay, if you want to see users on the Windows Server, you can do it. Anyway, yeah, I know how to do this, but I wanted to CLI, how to see it using CLI. Windows Server using CLI. So command line interface. Google will go back again and tell us, okay, if you want to see the user accounts using CMD, this is what you do. So let me open it. You open here, then you go here. It tells us what to do, and we want to go do that thing that it asks us to do. That brings us to when OB gives us something to read. Some people don't read it, they feel they are busy. My brother, you are not busy. OB, you see, is working. You understand? I myself am working. And then we are working, and then you see that in the night, some of us spend like only 4 hours of sleep, some do 2 hours only. Because if you sleep so much, you lose out. You understand? One of my friends says that when we die, we will sleep enough. So I think it says net user will show us which user we have. So let's go and do net user. See that? It tells us that the user existing here is this and other things. So we just use Google to find out. It also shows us the administrative user and this. So if we add more users here, it's going to tell us the users that we have. Right? So please, my people, Obi will do the close read for this class. So before I go out of the stage, I will tell you, don't be discouraged. You're on the right path. For those of you that put confidence in this industry, if you believe you'll succeed, you'll succeed. If you don't believe you'll succeed, nobody can force you to succeed.
I will succeed.
You have to, yeah, you tell yourself that, believe it, and tell you every day, tell yourself I will succeed. And I want you to do the extraordinary. There's something that human mind can do. Even though you are in Nigeria, for those that are in Nigeria, tell yourself I'm going to get an IT job, and believe it and work like you want to. You guys remember the guy in Lagos that the CEO of Twitter came, and the guy did an impressive performance. And the CEO of Twitter said, I hire you here. He immediately, and the guy is in California now, working for Twitter. So if you're a diamond, you'll be discovered. How do you become a diamond? Diamonds sharpened by what? Polishing. Polish yourself. Don't sleep all night. If you save small money, buy fuel when others are sleeping on your generator. Remember to put it outside to avoid carbon monoxide. On your generator, log in, spend some money, buy data, put it, be out there studying. Study. When you learn this thing very well, take this certification, my brother, you can get a job even while sitting in Nigeria. You can get a job anywhere. We just show that you can log into the Windows. If you can log in and you can solve their problem, why wouldn't they hire you? And if you can log in with, and then you will be able to make sure the system is, why don't they hire you? Now that we have COVID-19, Obiora, and a lot of us, Obi is working. He's not leaving his house. I am working. And when I was in Nigeria, I was working. And I didn't need to be in the US at that point. So my brothers and sisters, we are friends, we are family. Don't be discouraged. No matter what anybody is telling you, believe that you will succeed. That's the only time you succeed. I leave you guys with this, and I'll wait for some questions.
Thank you so much. It has been really amazing having Nonso walk us through this section. In fact, I was able to learn one or two stuff on my own, because as they used to say, every day presents a learning opportunity. And when you really have this burning desire to learn, right, you would always spot an opportunity, a learning opportunity, whenever it's presented itself. So we were really grateful for the time and the effort, even providing us with a server that would allow people to also practice what we've learned over the week. I cannot overemphasize the importance of practice. You need to practice over and over and over again for it to become a sort of your second nature. As some of those comments, you could see him typing it, right? It's actually a result of several, years of practice, days of practice. So I encourage us to use this 1 week interval that has been provided to go over some of these comments, right? Play around with the server. I'm sure that you can't spoil anything. There is nothing you can spoil it. Just do as much as you can.
Just play around. The highest we can do is we terminate the server. So play around.
Yeah, so you're not going to hurt anybody by playing with the server. Right. So to conclude, we want to get some feedbacks because the next 2 weeks, I don't know. I wanted to be sure whether the next 2 weeks is going to be sufficient or we should push it to next 3 weeks, because we have just everyone is expected to take the first course of the Cisco certificate. As I mentioned in the discussion forum, Cisco is actually one of the biggest players in the cybersecurity industry, and just a certificate from them demonstrating your proficiency will really go a long way, I tell you. So I encourage everyone to make efforts to complete this remaining part, because we have the first training which we're concluding today, and to provide us with an opportunity of getting a certificate to demonstrate our proficiency in what we've learned so far. we are expected to follow, self-study, follow the Cisco training program that I provided you the link with. Is going to be self-study. So why it's going to be self-study is because most of what they are going to present, or what is already presented in the course, are what we are familiar with. We've seen all this in the course of the previous weeks we've been going through in this training. So nothing will be new. In fact, you'll be surprised and even be amazed at how fast you're able to cover the first training section. And when you complete it, I think there are assignments or there are things you require to do to get the certificate. Now, if after you've done that, right, I think our initial goal will be to see how we can complete it within 2 weeks, or if everyone feels that 2 weeks is not going to be sufficient, maybe we're going to make it to be 3 weeks to allow everybody time to complete the training and get the certificate. The certificate is not mine, is actually what you're going to use for yourself to demonstrate that you've actually gotten enough experience in this, right? And to show or that if you have an employer or you're seeking a position in the IT industry or information security industry, you could use this as a starting point. Any employer that says that is able to be confident that yes, you have demonstrated enough knowledge in the basics, in the fundamentals of cybersecurity, because you would always learn on the job. The certificate is just to provide you with an opening, right? But the actual learning would also continue on the job. So, I need opinion on this. Would the 2 weeks be okay, or should we make it 3 weeks? So that after that 3 weeks, we can start with the second phase, which is the essentials. And in that essentials, which contains about eight weeks, right? What we are going to do is to also take it, because it's now familiar for most of us, right? So we're not going to make it to be every week. So we're going to do either we hold our meetings once in 2 weeks or once in 3 weeks, but there will be discussions in the Slack channel, right? People should be able to post what they are thinking, challenges they are having. They should be able to reach out, right? It's not, if you're doing self-study, doesn't mean that you are all alone. You could always reach out to us and we'll provide you the answers and explanations and clarification you need. So even these 2 weeks or 3 weeks, as we're going to decide now, right? It's still, although it's going to be self-study, you can always reach out to us. If there are things that are not clear, you can always reach out to us to provide those clarifications. That is the difference between what they are offering in their own training with what we are offering here. Because here you have someone willing and able to provide you the clarifications you need, which is different from all the massive open access courses that you have out there, because most of them are just self-learning. You're just learning on your own. You don't have anyone to reach out to when there are issues, right? So I am getting some suggestions from the chat. I have about 2 people saying 3 weeks should be okay. So any additional, any suggestions or counter suggestions? Because now we're looking at 3 weeks, because we have 2 people saying 3 weeks. So my initial thoughts were 2 weeks. So if 3 weeks are okay, since we have 2 people saying 3 weeks. So any thoughts?
3 weeks. 3 weeks, please.
Okay, great. Okay, now 3 weeks it is. So we would have about 3 weeks to go through the courses as provided in the Cisco training certification program, right? You use that 3 weeks to go through that training program. Then within that 3 weeks, right, if you have questions or you run into trouble or you're not finding it difficult to get what they're talking about in the training as provided by Cisco, you can always reach out to me on the Slack channel. Then I'll provide those clarification if as soon as you contact me. So we have 3 weeks, and everyone is expected to go through that program, right, and provide us with a certificate. The certificate is just like a proof that you've done what you asked to do and would help you proceed to the second phase of the training, which is the second section that we're going to start after the 3 weeks. Toby, have a question. Okay, go ahead if you can talk.
Okay, so we don't need the Cybrary certification again?
Yes, the Cisco is much more recognized. That is why we're opting to go with the Cisco instead of the previous one, as mentioned.
Okay. This means the first one we should.
Forget about the first one. We just concentrate with the Cisco. The 2 certificates from Cisco, I guess, is much more sufficient because Cisco is more recognized than the previous one that I had, the Cyber.
All right. Thank you.
And then it should be the first one that will run now for now.
Yeah, the introduction, because there are 2 courses that I provided. The first one is the introduction to cybersecurity, and the second one is the essential. So we're only looking at only the first one, which is the introduction to cybersecurity. The essentials will be what will be taken in the second phase of the training after this 3 weeks period, right? Then we'll now take the second one will be taking it in the class. So you use the format as presented by Cisco. Then if there are additional information or additional readings to make claim or to provide you a broader knowledge than what is provided in Cisco, then I would also do that.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, if you somebody is saying they can still go through the cyber. Yeah. If it's all about you for this training, we are more concerned about the Cisco. If you still want to go through with the first one I provided, fine. It's I don't think it takes anything away from you. Moreover, it also gives you additional or a different sort of perspective, and I think it's fine. But our requirement is that of the Cisco, right? The Cisco is our requirement. You're expected to provide us with the certificate for the introduction to cybersecurity for you to proceed in the second phase of the course. And in the second phase of the course, we'll be taking the format of the Cisco Essentials, right, and provide additional readings, additional reflections, and additional skills that would make it much more better than what Cisco is also offering. And such that when you're done with it, you are able to take the Cisco certification program. That's the actual certification program, but that will be a personal on your own because it's very expensive. It's a very expensive certification training program, but you would have enough knowledge to sit for that certification exam. So it will be an additional investment on your side if you want to do that. Any other question? Okay, Malaki, you want to say something?
Not really.
Okay, good.
Just commentation.
Okay, thank you. We thank you for. I'm really glad that most of us participated, and the results after we're done with this first and the second phase, then the results from all this will be published. As I said, I'm going to write up a paper in that regards, and hopefully, when it's accepted, then if we're doing additional one or we're requesting for funds, right, to make it much more an inclusive training. This time around, it would not be just members of CG. We will also want to include the general public. Maybe we'll start with the Holy Ghost and talk to people in Enugu Diocese about the training. Those that are interested to join could now sign up for it, and they will be signing up through CG, something like that. But that will be what we'll think about after we've completed the whole training. So, if there are no additional comments or suggestions,
I have a comment.
okay, go ahead.
It's just appreciation for your time, for actually finding out time to research more and also get a free certification from Cisco. And the big dream which you are pursuing, for our own betterment. So we are very grateful and appreciative. Thanks a lot for all your support. And before now, I think I don't know, I'm pleading with, thank God we have 3 weeks to study and get the certification. And I'm pleading with you and Brother Nonso, if we can have an impromptu online meeting, maybe just for 1 hour next week, so that you help us and set up the platform. I just want to use this forum because the training is it came around actually by a magnanimity and from the platform of CG. Since the lockdown is gradually easing up, I want to just have a brief meeting to know if we can start up a regular meeting. And we need your help to set up the platform for the online.
No problem.
It is okay by you.
It depends. I don't have an issue. It's if I don't know whether you guys would prefer to use the same platform, Skype for Business, or you would go with Zoom. So anyone, if it is Skype for Business, I don't mind providing the links, the link, and people could join. It's not a big deal.
Wow. Thanks a lot, and God bless you.
Yeah, bless you much more. Bless you much more. So, I guess that is actually all for today. So we'll conclude on this first section today, and after 3 weeks, we'll hope to start up the second section. And by then, most of us would have gotten the certificate for this first section through the Cisco training platform. Thank you so much for your active participation. It has been a learning and a very wonderful experience for me, and I hope all of us had the time and are able to enjoy those training section, and most importantly, that it was useful experience for you all. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day until after 3 weeks. So, but we'll continue to talk on the Slack forum. If you have questions or concerns or clarification, please do not hesitate to talk to me. And as I promised, I would always respond within 24 hours you send the message. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again after 3 weeks. Have a wonderful day.
And you too. Happy Sunday, everybody in the house.